Hi there. I'm going to talk to you today about the benefits of doodling. If you're like me and a lot of other people and you get some sort of handout when you're at a meeting or you're in class and you get something that looks like this, are you the type of person that has to take your pencil, your pen, whatever you're doing, fill stuff in, especially the ones that are bubbled like that, do some sort of design on it, or just draw around it? You want to draw the space around it. I like to outline things. You might be doing some sort of thing like this. And you're kind of making this space a little different by modifying it with lines, shapes, and creating some spaces that are maybe dark. Maybe you're going to fill some spaces in, and maybe you're going to leave some spaces white. Now, whatever you do depends on how your mind is going. So it's really not something that you're actually planning. It's something a little more on the fly, and it's all about shapes and patterns and how you can break up space. So, honestly, it's a really good mind exercise to do. So here's a doodle I've done from the past, and you can kind of see that if you turn the paper or you close in on something, you can see different things going on. There's a lot of different patterns going on. I'm trying to fill the space. So whatever space is left, you kind of think about maybe outlining an area and think about what kind of pattern or shape or object might look like that space that you have available. This is one that has been continuously being worked on. It's really not finished yet, but it's just something that I can turn to here and there. Here's another one that I kind of did with a class that I was introducing this and just giving them an idea about how you could start a doodle. So I believe I started with a sun, and then I just kept going around and outlining things. And once you start to outline things, you can actually fill in some areas with black. You can fill in areas with some sort of design. And you're just going to continue to develop this space. Now this one actually has some unused space that I actually like, that type of thing. And this type of doodling can be added to any of your artwork later. That's why I like to actually teach this a little bit, and how you can build off of just a simple idea of pattern, shape, and space, use of space. So I have some Sharpie markers. I have a thick Sharpie, and this might be used to fill in some areas where you want to have some dark values. And I use my thin Sharpie. This is the thin Sharpie that I have. And you might want to add some sort of color. So I'm just going to start off with a line and see where it takes me. And it's kind of funny when you first start, you're just like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Sometimes, you don't know what it's going to turn into. So I'm just going to take a couple of, I like to do these kind of back and forth lines like that. And then I start to design and I start to add off of this. So this can be a piece on its own, or it can just be a doodle to practice, and you can refer back to it with some of your projects. So what I like to do is I start to outline things and make a different space. So I'm creating actually just another line in there, but later on I'm going to actually create a space. So some shapes need to be added, a closed space. All right, and now I'm going to just put some sort of repeated pattern around that. So there really isn't something that I'm thinking about doing when I'm doing this. I'm not drawing the sun, I'm not drawing a wave, I'm just kind of doing this, and we're going to see what happens. So, since it sort of does look like a sun, there's things that I think about, so maybe a star and go along with some sort of celestial thing. I'm going to make some of these into triangles. So you see it's very unplanned. No, that one didn't go exactly the right one.
Dust is the base of the ageless, and all that remains is just lost in their veins. Grab for the edge in the wind. Just look at yourself.